Going on, guys? It's Luke here for SimBoxx. Delighted this evening to be joined by Too Sharp, Denzel Bentley. Denzel, thanks for your time this evening. How are we doing?
I'm all good, thanks, and yourself?
Yeah, all good, thank you. So, yeah, we've had the recent announcement of your British title defence. You'll be defending the title against Kieran Smith. Deep into camp now, it's not too far away, April 15th. How's camp going for you at the minute?
Yeah, no, camp's been good. Camp's been good. We've got everything we need. It's just about getting to April 15th injury free and as safe as possible, so we can get to work.
So the fight's been announced for the undercard of Joe Joyce versus Illy Zhang. It's got Michaela Mayer in there as well, so it's a big card. So excited to be part of a big domestic card on BT Sport.
Yeah, no, it's a very big card, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I think this is like my first big card I've actually been on. So I'm happy to be a part of it, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
From a boxing fan point of view, Denzel, I can say, when you see cards like this where it's stacked, you get fight after fight after fight, and you're not just looking at the main event. And I know you're going to be too busy to really care, if you like, but it's good to see a card like this being put together by your promoter, Frank Warren, and it's not on pay-per-view in a day and age where everything seems to come with an additional charge.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like you said, I'm a boxing fan, so I always look at this, and I'm happy to be in a card which is stacked, and it's like fight after fight after fight. It's a banger. So it's like there's some good names on the card, there's some good fights on the card, and it's like I'm going to be a part of that. That's what I'm saying. People are going to come out to watch, so it's good. And Frank's been killing it lately. Do you know what I mean? I think every card he's put on, was the first card in January. They've all been good. They've been good cards, and none of them have been pay per view. So the fans you could just watch it, obviously, with your subscription with BT and stuff. And it's just good. It's good for boxing. It's making good fights and big fights and not putting on pay per view. It makes everyone more interested to watch it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's a money grab, even though boxing everyone does whatever they do to make money. Do you know what I mean? Where it just feels like we're putting on good fights and good cards for the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned there, and it's something that I wasn't really going to bring up, but we'll touch on it. But you say you're a boxing fan at heart, so as much as you're out for the biggest fights, and of course you want to make as much money as you can in your career, it's a short career. But you see things like the DAZN price increase and more pay-per-views, and maybe the YouTube boxing going on pay-per-view. It's kind of diluting the market and making it more difficult for boxing fans to watch these fights and watch these events. So, is that something as a boxer you're aware of with like your business mind as well as your fighting mind?
No, 100%. I mean, like with the YouTube stuff, hey, go make your money. Like, if they're gonna pay you to do that, go get your money. I'm not against that at all, but if you're not interested in it, then don't pay attention to it. It's all these meant to be boxing outlets that are paying attention to it just for their views and their and their whatever. So yeah, me personally, I don't subscribe to DAZN. There's not enough real boxing in it for me, and I'm not interested in the YouTube stuff. Even though I did go to the KS House first one, and it was actually banged out, like it was actually sick. But it's not something I'm interested in. I'm not something I want to keep up with. There's other channels. There's Sky. There's BT, of course, which I'm on, and there's a lot of other small shows that probably don't get the outlet that they deserve for the fighters. That haven't got big deals, but there's so many, other channels. We ain't just got to look to DAZN because DAZN are doing that, and we think boxing's finished. No, there's real boxing on BT Sports and on Sky. So.
Absolutely. So, Denzel, before we look forward, we'll take a second and look back. Back in November, unfortunately, you was unsuccessful in your middleweight world title challenge, your first world title challenge against Eubank. It was a great performance. Just take us through how you recovered from that loss. You had the setback to Felix Kasha. We've seen how you bounced back from that. Are you excited now to bounce back from this setback and be more excited for the future?
Yeah, most definitely. Most of them, I'm happy I'm active and I got a date straight away. I think after the cash loss, I was struggling to get a date, which is even more frustrating. But this time, I get a date, I get to work on things, another southpaw. So, I just get to continue my camp to work on, that kind of southpaw style and how to conquer it. So, it's been good. You know what I mean? I think getting over the setback was quite easy because, like everyone that watched the fight was proud of my performance. So it's hard to kind of be upset and kick yourself down when, essentially your stock's risen. You know what I'm saying? So you've got to take positives from it. Me, everyone knows me. I'm a winner. Like, I'd want to win. So I'm not going to say I'm completely happy with my performance. Every time someone says a good performance, I say, yeah, but it could have been better. I could have won. You know what I mean? That's how close it was. But end of the day, is what it is. You learn from it, you go again. So I'm happy that I got a date. I'm happy I'm straight back in the mix, and I'm happy, to be straight back in the gym and just get to work rather than just be sitting out waiting around to see if anyone's gonna put me in another card.
Absolutely. You kind of touched on it there, but we'll expand a little bit with. From our point of view as British boxing fans, we've seen the run that you're on. We've seen the way you dealt with a very good fighter in Marcus Morrison right before you went into that world title challenge. But to maybe some of the American fans, and certainly Janibek to a certain extent, he was quite dismissive, but you exceeded all expectations. How do you take that kind of feedback that, as you say, you've done very well, you put in a great performance, but does that fuel the hunger to go again? Do you kind of disregard that? Like, how do you take that as, like say, you exceeded expectations?
Yeah, no, not for me, because my expectations were to win. Do you know what I mean? So that's just gonna, what I'm saying, like, just make me more hungry to go again. It's gonna fuel that something in me to go again. So in my mind, I'm like, nah, I want another shot at that because I can do better. Like give me a chance to go again. But I've got to prove that in my next few performances that I'm ready to fight at that level again. Of course, I showed what I can do at that level, but without being disrespectful, jumping back a level to British level, where obviously I'm the champion, so I have to defend my belt. I have to, put on a performance to show that yes, I'm above this level and I am rightfully, in the mix with the elites or with the world level fighters. So that's what I need to do, and it's just made me more hungry, it's made me more focused, and I just want to get back to that position. So I've got to do everything I can to do so.
Absolutely. So Kieran Smith is the opponent, Denzel. Take us through your thoughts on Kieran Smith. You managed to catch too much of his fights. This fight, he's obviously got that one setback to Troy Williamson. Have you sat back with your trainer and your team and watched footage of Kieran Smith so far?
Yeah, I've seen clips of him. Decent fighter, southpaw, rangy. Uses his range. You know what I mean? So, I have to find a way to get past that style and get the win, which I don't see as a big issue. But you can't take any chances. He is a big fighter, and he is coming, for his opportunity. Just like I was coming for mine against Janibek, so he's coming for his opportunity, and I can't let him do that.
So, of course, you mentioned that activity at this point of your career is something that you're really looking for and to keep active, which is something that you've done. You fought 3 times last year. Now, is keeping the British title and winning it outright, you said in your own words that you've stepped back a level back into British title level. Are you looking to win this title outright, or is it just a matter of this fight made sense to keep active before you get back up to that world title scene?
Well, this fight was there. It was opportunity to keep active, as you said. And I say keep active without being rude because it is a real fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a real fight. I've got to be switched on. And those are the type of fights I want to be in regardless. And, of course, the cherry on top was, look, listen, you win this, you get to keep it. So, of course, I'm going to go for it. I could say, no, I want someone, fringe world level or someone a bit higher. Yeah, it might have took a bit longer to get that point. It took a bit longer to get a date. But I get to be active. I get a chance to win my British title outright. And against a real fighter as well. So I'll be in another good fight, which the fans can get excited about and, want to see me fighting. So it's all like, how many birds killed with one stone, you know what I'm saying? So you might as well just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. To that effect as well, is that if you look at the British middleweight scene, you've seen it at the top, like Liam Smith and Chris Eubank, they're going to go at it again. We'll touch on that in a second. But there's some fights in there, Denzel, that might couple up as eliminators down the line. You like to see yourself. It's no disrespect to Kieran Smith, but if you go and get the win against Smith and maybe a fight with yourself and Hamza Shiraz, which is something we've discussed before, but that could then couple up for an eliminator of sorts, because it's quite a stacked division with guys in there that have got real world title aspirations as well as yourself.
Yeah, most definitely. Like you said, there's a bunch of guys at the weight class that we can all mix it with each other domestically to get an eliminator for a world title, but it's whether, we manage to fight each other for those opportunities, or maybe someone just wants to wait for their shot at a world title first, which is all good. But there's so many fights to be made, and you know me, I'm game. I ain't turned down the fight yet, and whoever really wants to fight, it's not hard. Just phone Frank or phone my manager Martin, and we'll answer the call.
That's the attitude, Denzel. It's the attitude that we all love you for. But we talked there about Liam Smith and Chris Eubank. Let's just go back to January, Denzel. What was your thoughts initially on that fight and the way it played out? Liam Smith stopping Chris Eubank in 4 rounds. Was you as surprised as everybody else? Not that Liam Smith won, but in the fashion that he got the victory?
Most definitely. I thought it would be a close fight, but sorry, pardon me. I ultimately thought Eubank was going to win. So I watched the first 3 rounds and Eubank looked like he was just cruising it. But there's this thing about Eubank, like he just sometimes he's just maybe too relaxed. You know what I mean? But I just thought he's cruising it. He's cruising it. So I just turned my eyes away for a second. Next thing you know, the fight's over. So I'm like, wait, what happened? So I've missed it. I'm like, what happened? Like my group chats are going mad. They're like, oh my days. I'm like, wait, what? Like, it's just the third round a minute ago. Like, what happened? So then, like, I've gone obviously on socials to try and look what's happened, and then I see the stoppage, and I'm like, wow, like that was that, like it just turned on his head like ASAP. Because I thought Eubank won the first 3 rounds. I thought it was quite easy. He was doing what he's done in these last 3 fights. That kind of like style he's learned with Roy Jones, a bit too relaxed, and he just got clipped, and that was it from there. But it was surprising because I've never seen Eubank hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone's seen Eubank hurt. So for Kieran Smith to hurt him, coming up a weight, like the guy fought George Groves, who was a big puncher at super middle. You know what I mean? So that was shocking to me. Still,
Did you look too much into this elbow situation? I think it was more Eubank and his promoters, and maybe that's a story they're trying to spin for this rematch. That there was an elbow in there, and that caused the brains and the legs to be scrambled to Chris Eubank. Did you look too much into that? I know you're a professional boxer. You've been in.
I mean, it's a good excuse. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a good way to try and get your way back into a rematch. Like, it is, if I'm being honest. But I don't think that would have done too much of the damage. Like, I think an elbow, what would it have been to his cheekbone where the swelling was? Yeah, I can believe there was an elbow that went in there to the cheekbone where the swelling was, but that's not really gonna buzz you and throw your legs off balance. I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, I've had an elbow to the head before, but not to that extent where like it scrambled my whole brains or anything. I think, that was the accumulation of the punches. I'm not saying the elbow, if it did land, it didn't do any damage, but he got up, he had time to recover. Well, not much time, but he had a bit of time to recover, and his legs were still gone. So, and then he got knocked down the second time. So it wasn't like that was the combination that knocked him. But I mean, it's a good excuse to get a rematch off. So why not use it?
So, of course, the rematch clause was activated on Valentine's Day, no less, by Chris Eubank Jr. Denzel, do you feel that there's any way at this stage of Chris Eubank Jr.'s career that he's going to have the time and maybe the characteristics to turn this fight around? Can the rematch play out any different kind of way? And if you was Chris Eubank, it's a double question, if you like, would you have took the immediate rematch with Liam Smith, given the way he was defeated?
Yeah, most definitely. You can't go out like that. Like, you can't go out. Like, even like with me, if I had those calls of cash fight, I'm calling that one straight away. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go out like that. So you got to go and do it again. If you beat him again, then yeah, listen, fair play, mate. Beat me again. Like, you've done it properly this time. But I think because you might come properly prepared. I don't think he was taking the fight lightly anyway, but he was moving as if so, and that probably could take some sort of focus off you just because you're too, you're trying too hard to make it seem like you're not taking it serious. That could take a bit of focus off you. So I think he's in the gym, work what he needs to work on, and come back. Whether he wins or not, that's another question. Liam Smith is going to be in a high. He's going to know we can hurt him. He's going to be pressing more. He's going to be coming forward more. He's going to be letting his hands go because he knows it can hurt him. So it's going to be a tricky situation to get out of. And Eubank's defense ain't the best, so he's going to get hit with shots again. So I don't know if there's a fight he can win, but I'd definitely take the rematch if I was him anyway. I mean, he can still win potentially, but yeah.
And a bit of a left field question here. Looking at the top of the middleweight division on the world team, is Jaime Munguia. Obviously, he's held world titles in different divisions, and I think he was a name that was put to Janibek last year. Before you got the fight with Janibek, and I think Team Munguia turned it down. I don't know if you've seen the quotes recently from Oscar De La Hoya saying that he's ready to throw Munguia's name into the mix with Dimitri Bivol up at 175 pounds now. Munguia seems to be avoiding, with all due respect, fights in his own division. What would you take from that? It's a bit strange.
Yeah, it is strange. It's a bit weird. I think they're picking fights where they think they can win, which a lot of fighters do anyway. But Bivol's not a fight I think Munguia can win. But it is a fight where if he takes, he's not really going to get hurt. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Bivol's style is just like boxing, like in and out with his feet, fast hands, tricky. You're not going to hit him, but he's not going to knock you out. He's not going to hurt you bad, like a Baterbiev or something. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, you go up, you lose, and it doesn't really take anything off you, but you make some good money because of what he just done, how he just beat Canelo. and he probably just wants to. De La Hoya probably just wants to, find a way to say, oh, Munguia done better than Canelo. Or if he beats Munguia, saying, or if he beats Bivol, Munguia beat Bivol and Canelo didn't, because I know they got their little beef, whatever. But I don't know. Munguia's a weird one. Like, he's had like 2 world title opportunities at his weight class and doesn't want to take them, which to me is a bit mad. But it also probably screams to me he's probably getting paid at Golden Boy and don't want to risk like losing those paydays by losing to someone like Zenovic. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they just see more value in boxing wherever and getting paid wherever he gets paid.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you mentioned there is Canelo. Now, it's not confirmed, but it's looking highly likely his next fight's going to take place in May in Mexico, which will be a huge event. And it's looking like our own John Ryder is going to be the challenger for the super middleweight world titles. Do you give John Ryder a chance in that fight, Denzel?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, innit? Like, you sort of got like a Cinderella story, you know what I'm saying? Like, losing at British level like 3 times and then coming back and now boxing one of the best of this generation, you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't just happen by chance. It's because he's worked his way and built his way back up. So, I mean, anything can happen in a fight. I hope he goes out there and does it. At the end of the day, Canelo. Let's just hope Canelo's taking his eye off the ball a little bit and not taking John Ryder too seriously. And then John Ryder can probably, pull something out of the bag here. But I think he'll do well. John Ryder's a tough guy. He's a strong guy. He's a skillful guy. So I think he'll be all right.
Absolutely. So we look back on this weekend just gone. We were speaking about DAZN in different boxing outlets. It was a big show on DAZN this weekend just gone, Denzel. It was headlined by Lee Wood defending his world title, his featherweight world title against Mitchell Lara, who was unheralded when he first came over to the UK, and he knocked out Josh Warrington in emphatic fashion. Now, this is a case of when boxing gets it right. It's simple when it's done right, and the best fight the best. This was marketed as a great fight. It proved to be a great fight, and it was all over in 7 rounds after a great performance by Lee Wood. He was knocked out in the 7th round by Mitchell Lara. The towel come in. Denzel, what was your thoughts initially on the fight and on the moment it stopped?
Initially, I thought, what are you doing? Why would you throw the towel? Like, he's winning the fight. He's winning the fight. But at the end of the day, had debates with a few people. People raised some good points, and it's not me in the ring, innit? So I'm only trying to see it from my view. No, I'd like to carry on. I'm sure you would like to carry on. And there's 10 seconds or less left on the clock. And of course, I thought it would have been better to see how Lee Wood reacted. Do you know what I'm saying? That if he got hit with another punch and he was stubborn all over the place, then boom, the towel comes in. But people say that one punch could be the difference, and I don't know. People try to make boxing seem more than it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like one punch could be the difference. That is very true. But at the same time, it could be both ways. Look at the Conlon fight.
Yeah. When
you got dropped heavy. You even got escorted to the corner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just the fact that it was on the bell. And I just think a little bit was a concern of I think maybe the corner were I don't want to use the wrong words here, but like worried about Lara's, like not about, but worried. I don't want to say scared, but worried about Lara, like what he could do with his power and the way he throws his shots, and he's a big puncher. Do you know what I mean? But Lee Wood's one of them guys that gets hurt and comes back and just starts doing the madness, and then anything happens. You know what I'm saying? So it could have turned on his head. He could have put Lara down after that, but we didn't get the chance to see that. But I guess if he's hurt and they worried about the safety of their fighter, then of course that's the correct decision to make. A coach has a duty of care to their fighter, and that's what they were doing. So you can't really criticize them for that. That's between them to talk about in the gym and discuss in the gym how hurt he was. I don't know how hurt Lee Wood was. I thought he was all right after he got up after the count. But it is what it is, man. He's done well. Should be proud of himself. If they have the rematch, I don't know if he's going to do as good, but yeah, hopefully he does.
Did you see the situation straight after the fight where Mitchell Lara was getting out the ring and he went to jump towards Josh Warrington, and then afterwards he spat at him, and we're all for, especially in a media capacity as myself, Denzel, we're all looking for headlines and whatnot, but surely that's overstepping the mark there, and once you spit at another man, that's you're gonna watch.
No, that's
after that.
Yeah, that's like the highest level of disrespect. You might as well slap him. Like, you can't spit on someone. Like, come on, that's disgusting. Like, that's yeah, yeah. If I was worried, I'd want to chin him too. But I guess it builds for a big fight for them. Do you know what I mean? He's the champion, so he's giving Warren an opportunity if they do fight. If it was the other way around, Warren can say, "Look, you're not getting an opportunity, but like you just disrespected me." But I guess it makes a good fight. And they must really hate each other, and I don't really know why. But yeah, they must really hate each other. They don't even understand each other to hate each other that much. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they hate each other, but they do.
Looking forward to this weekend, Denzel. We touched on the YouTube boxing scene. I said in my own preview that's available on the SimBoxx YouTube channel that I don't know whether I class this as YouTube boxing, real boxing, or kind of a grey area in between, but it's Jake Paul, it's Tommy Fury, it's headlining, and we talked before about pay-per-view. This is £20 on BT Sports. You might want to ask Uncle Frank about why it's £20 on BT Box Office, but what's your thoughts on the event, Denzel? Like, is it something you're interested in?
That's what it is. It's a big event, and obviously them kind of things there you can kind of capitalize on it. And it's not, like you said, it's not really real boxing, so it doesn't feel like you're cheating the boxing fans. It's just a spectacle. It's an event, so it's like whoever's interested, we pay for it and watch it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not Floyd versus Pacquiao. It's Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul, and probably an 8-rounder or something. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I mean, I'm presenting on the night for that show, so I will be watching. But it's not something I've really looked too into. I think for me it's kind of dragged a bit, and I kind of lost interest because, like I said, it's not real boxing, but it was funny at first. But it's kind of dragged a bit. I'm happy to get on, and I think I'll agree with you. I think it's kind of like a grey area. It's like it's not YouTube boxing, and it's not the highest level of professional boxing, but it's like, if Jake Paul wins this, he can announce himself as a professional boxer, as long as he continues to take real fights. Do you know what I mean? But he's worked to that point, and obviously there's a lot on the line because Tommy Fury's got the chance to eliminate YouTube boxing, and Jake Paul's got a chance to say, "Look, I've done it my way, and I beat a real boxer." So who's to say there's a specific way to be a boxer? Do you know what I'm saying? So they both have real reasons. Fury, of course, cannot afford to lose, like him actually being a boxer, even though he hasn't fought anyone of any substance. But him actually being a boxer and being, Tyson Fury's brother, which doesn't help me fight, by the way, but that's the family name. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot more on the line for him than there is for Jake Paul. If Jake Paul loses, like, oh well, I tried the thing. I'll go back to doing what I'm doing. But we'll see.
You'll see. You mentioned there, and it's something that again I was going to bring up. But if you put yourself in the boots, if you like, the gloves of Tommy Fury ahead of this fight, he's got the weight of a sport on his shoulders in a way, and Denzel, that he's defending boxing's honour, coupled with the fact that his brother's WBC heavyweight champion of the world, one of the, or if not the best heavyweight on the planet. He's got his dad who's very outspoken, saying that he can stay in Saudi Arabia if he loses. He can lose the Fury name. Denzel, that's, as well as a boxing match, be it against Jake Paul, but as well as the boxing fight, that's a hell of a lot of pressure to come along with it as well, isn't it?
No, most definitely, especially when you got like people closest to you saying things like that. It's like, oh, hold on, you just put a whole load of weight on my shoulder for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how serious he's taking this. He's coming across as he's not taking it serious at all. Like, he's just fighting some mini donut. But I think Jake Paul proved himself like he can actually fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's set up his camp in Puerto Rico, surrounded himself with champions, real boxers. I think he's got like BJ Flores and the other dude from the Mayweather camp that used to box from Mayweather. I can't remember his name right now. It's gone out of my head. But he's got all them guys around him, showing him the ropes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's sparring champions, he's getting him in camp and sparring. That's whether he's getting battered or not. He's sparring. I think I heard something like he had Chad Dawson in camp. Like, that was a good fighter in these times. You know what I mean? So. Not for this fight, but I mean in general, like, he's been sparring with Chad Dawson, so he put in the work. He's putting in the work, and he's trying to find his feet. Tommy Fury, I'm not quite sure what or anything. I heard anything, but he's just saying as if he's not fighting anyone that's going to fight back. You know what I mean? But Jake Paul seems like he's putting in the work, and I think it is a fight that Tommy Fury can lose. I don't know if he does lose, but I think it's generally 50-50.
I put you on the spot there. You're obviously part of Queensbury with the Furies. You're going to be doing the presentation for BT Sport, but if I put you on the spot for a prediction, are you going to be backing Tommy Fury, I guess?
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Like, he's actually a fighter, isn't he? You don't really want to see a fighter lose to somebody that's just picked up the sport a couple of years ago just to muck about with it. So you think Tommy Fury, but I don't know how serious he's taking the sport. I don't know if he just wants to get a big payday. Like I said, I don't know him personally, but you know, just for boxing's sake, you know, you hope he does win. But at the end of the day, 50-50 fight. Jake Paul's trying to prove himself as a boxer. I just don't see, the one thing that doesn't know about that stuff is when the WBC say things like they're gonna rank Jake Paul if he wins, but then are you gonna rank Tommy Fury if he wins? So it's all one way. You know where it's going. It's just a money grab for them. But at the end of the day, yeah, like I'm swaying now. But yeah, for boxing's sake, I hope Tommy Fury wins.
So, of course, we mentioned it already that you're going to be part of the presentation team for BT Sport. You was in the studio for the Turbio against Yard. Now, we've got many, many years left in the game, Denzel, and big fights ahead. But looking at when your career does come to an end, is moving into the media side of things, is that something you're enjoying at the minute and something you think you're going to stick to as the years go by?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm quite enjoying it. I think it's quite easy because I'm always watching boxing anyway. So there isn't much I've got to do to kind of keep up with what's going on. So, and it is a nice little avenue in it. I guess like a lot of people say when they retire, they don't know what to do. I'm nowhere near retirement. I've got a lot of years left, but I don't think I'd struggle with it. But yeah, being involved in boxing is still kind of sick. So I think that is a nice little avenue to go through after I retire. But like we said, there's still loads of years, so I'm not really thinking about that. But yeah, I am enjoying it.
Absolutely. Well, Denzel, if it goes tits up with BT Sport, there'll always be a spot on the SimBoxx team for you.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
As always, Denzel, I appreciate your time this evening. Is there anything you'd like to add before we finish?
Yeah, no, man, make sure you all tune in April 15th. I'm out there to put on a spectacle. So,
absolutely. Best luck, Denzel, and we'll catch up again soon.
Nice one. Thank you.